trying to make me cry in front of everybody, man?
Yeah, that's the point.
One word of advice. Buy TV, don't spend it on Hooker.
Super Russ. I'm the last character on my Justice League team with these four babes. Yo, what's up, guys? No rehearsed intro this week for me.
I was like, what's he going to spring on me this time?
I couldn't think of anything for the video game intro. Just like cut back and be wearing a Crash Bandicoot head.
You could have done like a Super Mario impression. Hey, it's me, Super Russ.
Oh, man. I didn't think of that. Get in trouble with the Italian people.
Yeah.
I know I did a Scottish accent one time in one of my videos, and Gray Man was just like, no, don't do that again.
That's funny because when a lot of people try to do an Australian accent, they do like a British accent instead.
Yeah.
It's very different. It's very different. All right. So who's in the chat, mate?
We had Cookie in here first, just a little podcast. What's going on, man? And Kavi, Comic Books NYC, jumped in.
Yeah, Kavi's a big
He's a fan of video games. Been collecting a few
video games now.
So he's been playing a lot while he's healing up from his injuries. What happened, brother? Heard they remastered the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games. Yeah, I saw that. It's I think that's on sale now, and I believe they did a 4th one.
Yeah, and they recently remastered all the GTA games, didn't they?
Yeah. I've heard that's having a lot of issues, though, a lot of graphical trouble.
I heard that too.
A lot of glitches and stuff like that going on.
I really should, because obviously I love like my favorite game ever in the history of anything is GTA 5. The game is so old now, and there's still, I haven't played it. I don't really play video games much anymore, but they're still releasing content for it, and it's been free. Like, it's always free. Yeah. You know, the game has expanded so much. I think it's crazy. But the actual storyline game itself, like, I always used to play GTA. I would play the story up until I got stuck or it got hard, and then I would just literally spend the rest of my time just doing stupid stuff like blowing up everything, right? It wasn't until GTA 4 which I really started playing through the story, and I didn't finish it, but I got very close to the end, and I'd stopped playing it because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do now once I finish it. You can't get over the whole just running around blowing everything up. So and then GTA 5 came out, and I played that all the way through. It was so good.
I've never actually gotten into the GTA games much. I played some of San Andreas.
Yeah.
I think that was PS3.
San Andreas? Was it PS3?
I can't remember if it was PS3 or PS4.
So that's a perfect example, right? So I got stuck on that game almost from the very first mission. It's like one of the very first missions. You've got to get away from these guys who are trying to shoot you, right? And they're in a car trying to shoot you, and all you've got is a BMX. And I just kept dying, and I just got frustrated. Like, I'm done with this. So then I would just, put cheat codes on and just go around like blowing everything up.
San Andreas was PS2.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like the cover.
It has been a while since I played.
I always try to picture the cover, and I felt like it was the PlayStation 2 logo on that one.
Man, it's been longer than I thought since I played one. What's
going on?
What's up, Mad Spidey? What's going on?
Yeah, PlayStation 2 was so many great games, man. One of my favorites was the Warriors, because Rockstar, man, they can make a game.
Like Rockstar, they made the Red Dead Redemption games too.
Yeah, so the first what was the first Red Dead Revolver? The first one was called.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that one was Rockstar or not. The first one that came out on the PS2.
I'm pretty sure it was. I played that one. I didn't play far into it, but I played it quite a bit, and I really enjoyed it. Right. So when Red Dead Redemption came out, I was kind of excited. I'm not into westerns too much, but
Yeah.
I explained this story once on my channel, but I'll explain it again. I was playing it, and you've got the horse, right? And again, this is very early into the game. And you meet this girl, and she's like, "Hey, try to keep up with me with the horse." So she rides off on her horse. So I start riding my horse and chasing her, right, and chasing her, and she's just getting further and further away. So I'm like, "Oh, I got to race harder! I got to race harder!" I'm chasing her, and then all of a sudden, boom, my horse dropped dead. Oh, sorry, you ran your horse too hard, and he died. And it hurt my feelings, man. It was a very dramatic moment, and it really hurt, and I couldn't play it after that. I stopped. that was the end of Red Dead for me.
I never played the first Red Dead all the way through. I never beat it because back then I used to just rent games.
Yeah.
And I wasn't I've never been a big Westerns fan, but when I started playing Red Dead 2 a couple months ago, the storyline just took me on that game so hard. I played through it twice.
So you played through it. How many sittings to finish it the first time?
Oh wow. It's a fairly long story, and you get a long epilogue too. I want to say maybe 10, 11 total hours the first time through.
Yeah.
And then the second time through took longer because I did a bunch of the side stuff with it.
I should play it. It's just suddenly I still have that memory of my dead horse.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, look, if a horse was about to die from running, wouldn't the horse just stop?
Yeah,
rather
it seems
than
like it.
run until it dropped dead.
They got a stamina meter for Red Dead 2. And if you run it to the end of its stamina, it just kind of bucks you off and walks away.
Yeah, well, it doesn't
But
die,
the horses can die if they get shot and stuff.
Yeah, but from running,
But just riding it doesn't do it.
It's like
unless you run it off a cliff.
I killed that horse. I had a connection with that horse, man.
Yeah. Well, that's a killer game, Red Dead 2. Definitely recommend checking it out. The opening sequence kind of gets a little bit boring because it takes so long for the action to pick up. The intro of the game is probably 2 hours until you get to an area where you can really start free roaming and exploring and doing side quests and things.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Those kind of games, because you just want to play the game, and you end up watching a 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
that was have you ever played the Yakuza games?
No, I've got one of them on my PlayStation because it was a free game 1 month for PS Plus, but I haven't played it yet.
I can't remember what number it was that I played. It might have been 3, 4, whatever it was. And at the start, it took me, I think, close to an hour before I got to do anything, right? So it played the story, and then it was like, would you like to see the story of the previous game? So part 2, whatever it was. It was like, do you want to watch the story of that? Right. And I was like, oh, since I haven't played any, I may as well. And it literally played this 20, 25-minute story, and I couldn't skip it or anything like that.
Huh.
And on top of that, then it played another 20-minute story of the actual game that I'm playing. And then I finally go into the game, and I'm in a cemetery. I was like, oh, cool. I can finally play the game. I literally walked 10 meters up to a tombstone, and then it plays another 15-minute video. And I'm like, oh my God. And literally all I got through in that game was and then after that, you learn the mechanics of how to fight. And then that was it. After that, I was like, I'm done. I've been playing this for 2 hours, and all I've done is learn how to bloody punch someone.
I know Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2 on the PS2 was like that, where it's so much of the game you just spent on the codex reading the text and going through and listening.
I did
hours and hours of codec messages and barely any gameplay.
I did enjoy the first one though.
Yeah, I did too. The second one messed me up.
Kavi never has the new systems. So hang on. Okay, so he's got PS4. He's got PS4. I mean, no one's got a PS5. Let's face it.
I know. I know. I saw one of my buddies on Instagram, Mars Comics. He just finally got his PS5.
You get look. There's people who have them. Like I know, like there's a bunch of people at my work who have them, and I've got a couple of I've got two of my closer mates that bought them off flippers, but like we were taking names at work, so we had an expressions of interest list, right? And you could put your name down on the list, and then when we get orders, we would call you and say, "Hey, do you still want this? You can come get it now." All right. And the list is like over 200 people, so we had to like cut the list because it got too crazy. But a lot of the people are obviously buying them or flipping them, so I think they're trying to weed them out. So I think they're trying to look up names on the orders, and if they've had a previous order, then we cancel their order. If they've already picked one up. So I have a friend who bought one, and because we had them, he called up his mate and said, "Hey man, they've got them here. Do you want me to buy one for you?" And then his mate was like, "Yeah, pick one up for me and I'll pay you." And then my store was like, "No, we can't sell you two. You can only buy one." So he had to call his mate back and say, "Hey man, they won't sell me two. You need to come down here yourself."
Yeah, I don't know how they do it here, man, but they still only do like online releases here, and every time they sell out within a minute. It's crazy.
Well, yeah. So pretty much everything we've been getting, we've had like, in the last few months, we might have had maybe 3 shipments, maybe. Or more, I don't know. But as soon as they come in, they're already pre-sold to the people who are on the list. So,
but I don't know, man. I give up trying to get them online. I'm just gonna keep waiting until they actually show up in the store if they ever do. So at this point, I don't know, man.
2023.
I thought last year after the Christmas rush they might show up, and then here it is a year later.
I heard something like
nothing.
They're running out of resources for, I can't remember if it was the processor in it or something like that.
There's some kind of chip or something, but I don't know, man.
But yeah, by the time it's funny because by the time you get one, there's going to be talk of the PlayStation 6, mate.
Yeah. Well, see, I've already heard rumors. You know how they came out with the PlayStation 4 and then the PlayStation 4 Pro?
Yeah.
I've already heard rumors of a PlayStation 5 Pro. So it's like...
Yeah, I reckon that will become the console that will be more available than this.
By the time everybody gets a PS5, they're going to come out with the Pro version, and you're going to have a lot of mad customers.
Yeah,
I don't know what the Pro version could be for that. I don't even know, because
more storage, faster processor, maybe,
but I don't know, man. Because I've heard the load times on the PS5 now is just seconds.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So I mean, what they're going to do on the Pro version, man? Just have like a PS5 hologram girl pop out of your system for you.
It doesn't bother me too much because I don't really play video games anymore. I just never feel like I've got the time for it.
Yeah.
And all the games I really want to play have been like I wanted to play Miles, and that came out on PS4, and I've barely played it. But I really want to play Gotham Knights.
Yeah, so, I do too. I'm definitely getting that when it drops.
That's coming out on PS4, so
yeah,
it's fine.
See, I was waiting. I had an idea to wait for the Miles Morales Spider-Man game until PS5. I had no idea I'd be waiting a year and a half. So I still haven't played that one.
I need to because the first it does, doesn't it, Carvey? The first Spider-Man game I played through it in like maybe 5 or 6 sittings. Yeah. And then this one I don't know. I just don't have the time. Like, I'll give it like an hour or two, and then I'm just like, I don't know. I don't have the attention span for the gaming anymore like we used to.
I know the trailer looked really good for Spider-Man 2. But I don't think it's coming out until next year, 2023, maybe.
Wow, because Miles doesn't feel like it's been out that long. All right.
That's one thing I hate when they announce this game that everybody wants, and then it's like the release date is 2 years from now.
Yeah, I know. And games are worse, right? Games are worse than movies for that kind of stuff. Way worse. So just because Carvey mentioned all these consoles, I figured why don't we go back to the beginning, Russ?
All right.
And tell me about your first memory of video games.
My first console was the Nintendo, regular Nintendo.
I feel like we spoke
And
about this.
yeah, my mom, brother, and sister all went in and got me one when I was 6 years old, and it came with Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt with the little light gun. So that was like my first like gaming experience, and pretty much when I stopped going outside. That was it.
Yeah.
I would play that. Oh man, just until my thumbs were flat from pushing the controller buttons.
It's weird. I don't really remember getting like obviously I had the Nintendo, but I don't really remember the whole thing of like what my first game was or when I actually got it and things like that. That was just too long ago. I remember because my first video gaming stuff was the Commodore 64 and Atari that my brothers had. So
Yeah.
I used to go over to their house and they'd like babysit me because they were a lot older than me. And yeah, just like being able to play games on the Commodore 64 and stuff. So they're the first sort of video games I remember. So I had the Nintendo, but I don't really remember the time. You know, like you
Yeah.
can remember what your first game that you got and things like that. What's going on, Matt?
Yo, Matt, what's going on, brother?
Simply
Simply Incredible
Incredible.
podcast.
But I do remember. Hey, yeah. So you guys are up with the Sega. What do you guys call your seat? The Sega back in the day?
Sega.
Yeah. Sorry, Sega.
Yeah.
What was the name of the console?
Well, they had a couple ones. They had the Sega Mega Drive. They had the standard system.
Oh, so you
They
did
came
have the
out
Mega
with
Drive.
a Sega 32X, which was just like this extension add-on you could plug in the top.
I thought someone recently said to me that you guys didn't call it Mega Drive, and it was like the Sega Genesis or something like that.
Yeah.
There
Mostly
you
that's
go.
what we called it, the Sega Genesis.
But Mega Drive was what it was. Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
called it.
They had like a Mega Drive here, but that's just all I ever heard like growing up was Sega Genesis.
Okay, yeah. So it was always Mega Drive for us. So I remember, right? Because I had the original Nintendo, and then everyone had the Super Nintendo, right? And I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I used to go to my friend's house every weekend and would play Super Nintendo. But when my parents finally gave me permission to buy a console, because everyone had a Super Nintendo, I had to be different. So I got the Sega instead.
Yeah.
And I like Sonic. I prefer Sonic over Mario. So was the Asian name probably Australia? Well, I'm Asian and Australian, so that works. And yeah, so I bought the Mega Drive, right? And I remember at the time they'd released the 6-button controller. So I bought it and I had the 6 buttons on the controller, which was cool because I used to play Street Fighter. And it was faulty after like a week or two. I had a problem with it. So I took it back and they said they had to send it off for repair, which is ridiculous since it was like only a week or two old, right? They sent it off for repair. I was without my console for like 3 months. And when it came back, I was like, this is not the controller it came with. They're like, no, it is. I was like, no, it's not. And they literally wouldn't. They gave me back the 3-button controller. I was so, and I'm like a little kid. So what can I do, right? Like if I was an adult now, I would have thrown it in their face.
Yeah, I never had the Super Nintendo either. I went from Nintendo until about probably a year and a half into the Sega Genesis release. My older brother just came walking in with the Sega one day and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And that was just like, just an epic, like, gaming moment for me. Immediately unplugged the Nintendo, plugged in the Sega, and just Sonic 2 all day, every day. My favorite level was the Casino Zone.
That was because everyone had Game Boys when I was growing up, right? Everybody had Game Boys. So my parents went to like Hong Kong when I was a kid, so they took me and they bought me a Game Gear. So I came back to school and everyone had Game Boys with no color, and then I came back with my Game Gear, and I was like the only kid who had a Game Gear over here, which had color and everything like that, and that's how I played all the Sonic games.
I never did get any of the handheld systems. What's up, Chaos and Comics?
Hey, Sean.
But I had like this weird like knockoff. There was this system called the Virtual Boy that you put on your head. and I had like this weird knockoff version of that, and it was just
Well,
like
when was
this.
this? In the
This
90s?
was late '80s, early '90s, I think.
What
But
was
it
it
was this.
called?
I forget what it's called. The real one was the Virtual Boy, I think. But this was like a knockoff of that, and it was just
Yeah.
one eyepiece with a little flip down infrared screen. And
Okay,
all
yeah.
the games on it were look the same, just these little pixelated infrared images. And it came with a controller with a wire coming from it. Yeah, that was the real one. And the knockoff just had one eyepiece. And it looked
Um,
so like janky. You just
yeah,
strapped it on your head.
I
Looked
do
like
not
a
remember this.
this horrible like ripoff of Vegeta's eyepiece.
What? And there were
It just
Mario games on there.
really.
Well, I don't know. Like that looks like I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, that's kind of how the games looked on the knockoff version, but it was even more small and pixelated because it just covered one eye, and
um,
it would give you a headache after just a few minutes of trying to wear it and play the games on it.
I
It
don't
was
remember
horrible.
this. I remember a friend of mine telling me about this recently, and I do not remember. I have no memory of that
Yeah,
at all. No.
yeah, I never got to play that version of it.
First system was Intellivision. What's that? What are these things? Oh, whoa. Is that the thing with the two bars, like the Pong thing? Because my friend who used to go over, or who I used to go over to play Super Nintendo, his parents brought out this crazy thing, and it was like this little box and had two little knobs that went up and down, and that was the Pong thing, and you could change it to like 4 different sports. it's something else. NBA Live, yeah. Oh, dude. So, what about arcade games, man? Did you go to the arcades much back in the day?
Well, we didn't really have like a place dedicated for arcades, but there was like some arcade machines like here and there. Like we used to have to go to the laundromat every week to do laundry, and they had the Miss Pac-Man arcade machine in there, and they had asteroids. And I'd like pump quarters into those and play those.
At the
And there's
laundromat.
this
I guess that makes
yeah,
sense. I guess.
there was
Wow.
this one pizza joint me and my dad used to go to years ago, and they had some cool arcade machines in there. They had like a Die Hard game with the actual guns. They
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to remember what all they had. They had the Mortal Kombat cabinet. That was awesome.
Yeah, because I used to. Well, the arcades were huge down here, so you could. They were everywhere. And I remember what was it? Was it the nostalgia episode where we talked about Street Fighter and how you could get
Yeah.
stabbed over a game of Street Fighter down here?
That's crazy, man.
But
Hardcore gaming.
I used to go to the video store. There used to be a video store near my parents owned a restaurant when I was growing up. So I used to just wander the streets, and there was a big group of shops. So I used to go down to the video store and just hang out at the video store for the whole night. But they used to have they had Street Fighter, and then but they would always change every now and then. So they had Street Fighter for quite a long stretch, and I used to destroy all the older kids, like all the older kids. They used to like literally rip me, like when they challenged me, they'd rip me away from the arcade machine, and they'd like press all the buttons on the thing, so I would choose someone random, and I would still beat them sometimes, like with Dalsim and stuff like that. But they changed it one time to the Terminator 2 game with the two guns.
Oh yeah.
They had quite a few, but yeah, it was. We used to go down to the video store and play, and you'd meet because a lot of kids would come who live in the area would come just to play the one little arcade machine that video store would have.
I played Street Fighter, but I never got good at it like I did with Tekken and the original Mortal Kombat games. I got super good at those.
I had to get good at Street Fighter for survival.
Yeah. Killer Instinct, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was the one I was never good at. So I got pretty good at Mortal Kombat. I was just never, because I used to watch other people do those crazy combos in Killer Instinct, and I could never. There was one time this guy, I used to watch him play all the time, and he's like, "Hey man, do you want me to teach you how to do this combo?" I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Yes." And I can't remember. I could do a combo with Folgore, was that his name? But it was the one that I was never really great at.
Yeah, I was never good at combos, man. I was just a button masher most of the time.
dude. The
I remember like
X-Men.
playing Mortal
Yes.
Kombat. I could never figure out the fatalities,
Oh yeah, no, I do it.
so the character would just fall over.
There was oh yeah, so sometimes you would mess it up, yeah.
Yeah,
But there was this one. I think it was Mortal Kombat 2. You know how they had Shang Tsung and he could
yeah.
So the worst thing was a lot of the times you could transform into the other character, but you sometimes forgot how to transform back. But there was a move that he had, right? Who's the other forearm guy? So not Goro, but there's the other
Mintaro.
I can't remember his name, but he's got
Was
like
it
the
Min-
headband sort of thing. And so with Shang Tsung, what you do is there was one of the buttons you had to hold. So let's say you won the first round, you would hold this certain button for the whole round, and then you beat them. And then when it says finish him, you walk right up to him, you take one step back, and then all you have to do is let go of that button, and he would transform into that other guy, and he'd punch half the top half of your body off. Oh yeah, sweet. Simply just tag me in that. I want to have a look.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Kentaro. That was his name.
Ah, there you go.
Mintaro was the other one. It was like a sim. What do you call it? Like a minotaur.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, poor Mike?
So mate.
I can't remember which Mortal Kombat it was. I think it was around the 7th one or so. They put just like a one button fatality in those where you just had to hit the one button to do the fatality. That was like easy mode.
Well, no, to be honest, that's the way to do it because it's kind of no fun. I mean, fatalities was the big thing. So the fact that you would get all these people that didn't get to experience that because they didn't know how to do it, you probably lost a lot of potential players. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's probably a good idea just to make the fatality a standard easy thing. But then again, there was also different moves to do friendships. Bestiality.
Oh, yeah. I think that came in what? Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah, there was French. No, not so bestiality. That's so wrong. it was baby. They turn you into a baby.
Yeah. I remember they had like the ones where you could show mercy and stuff like that, and they would get like a little bit of their health bar back.
Yeah, the first Mortal Kombat was controversial. A lot of the versions down here, they would get rid of the blood. So if you had like the censored version, the blood would be blue instead, so it'd look like sweat. But I had Mortal Kombat, the first one, on my Game Gear. And there was that one level, I can't remember how you actually got to it, but there was the thing how you could fight smoke in the dungeon sort of thing. And you could do that even on the game. You could do that even on the Game Gear version. It's crazy.
I remember the first Mortal Kombat. I think it was the first one that had that secret level that had Reptile. And my brother could like unlock it, but neither one of us could ever beat Reptile.
Yeah, wasn't it a thing where you had to press the start button or something when that little guy came out from the side and went whoopee?
Yeah, and it was like the uppercut off the bridge, the pit.
And we'd go down there. Yeah. Was it Reptile? Was it Smoke?
It was Reptile, I think, in the first game.
Okay, it was.
But they did that. They did do that for Smoke in one of the later games.
Okay, because I remember they had that at yeah, like I said, on the Game Gear version.
Yeah. What's up, Sarah?
And then on Mortal Kombat 3, they introduced the run button. Yeah. And that's when I started to lose interest. I was like, what is this extra button? You mean run? I could still do a really good combo with Sub-Zero, though, I remember. But yeah. Oh, I was saying, so before the show, I was saying to Russ, I was trying to think of like some video game comic books I could have brought, but I've got the first issue of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's like an expensive book now, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. It's not in good shape because it's been around since it came out. So, yeah, the one on Malibu Comics.
But yeah, I was talking about like all the button combinations and stuff for fatalities. I don't know if you remember WWF Warzone on the PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
They just had all the like standard buttons, but when you built up your finishing move meter, you had to like do a combo of buttons to actually do the finisher. So it was like left, right, forward, like X and box at the same time, or the trigger buttons, and just all these combinations just to do the finisher. Then
It should,
after that, they changed it to the one button.
it should be just something easy, like press
Yeah.
2 attack buttons at the same time or something like that, just to make it more fun for people, because there's a lot of people, like in fact, probably majority of people probably didn't know how to do the moves, you know? So
Yeah, because I was because that was PlayStation 1. So I was pretty young at the time, man. I remember like getting so frustrated with that game, not being able to like hit the Stone Cold Stunner and stuff.
I remember, did you ever used to get video game magazines?
Yeah, I
Because
used to
they
love
used to
those.
teach you how to do moves and stuff like that as
Yeah.
well.
I
And
wish
they'd
I
come with,
still had those, man,
yeah, me
because
too.
I had like so many cool. They had some awesome covers on them too, with like the
Yeah,
original Resident Evil games and little strategy bits in them. I
and they
wish,
come with
yeah,
posters and stuff.
yeah, I wish I still had those. I remember
Yeah,
when I got the PlayStation 1, it came with a little card for 6 free months of PlayStation Underground magazine and demo discs. So for 6 months, they would send me a free magazine with a demo disc in it. That was pretty cool.
man, I'm an idiot. I've got all. I'm just good now. I've got all these video game comic books coming. I've got the first Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog,
Oh,
but
nice.
I don't have his first appearance. That's what I was about to look up. I thought it was his first appearance, but his first appearance in a comic book was actually a mini comic book that came with one of the games. And if
Oh,
someone
really?
has that and would like to sell it to me at a cheap price,
That would be cool, man. Cool to have. Because Sonic, yeah, that was just like for years the only game I played until I got, because I went from Nintendo to Sega to PlayStation 1. And I know there's so many like consoles I missed out on, like the N64 that had a ton of great
yeah,
games.
I
I
never
would
had
get
that.
to play that at my cousin's house sometimes.
So that's the Sonic comic that I've got. So this is issue 0. And that was my main comic that I collected when I was a kid. I had the first like the first 4-issue miniseries, and then it started into like an ongoing, and I had the first like 50 issues of that. But this is actually the first Sonic comic which came with a game. So it's like a mini, so it'd be the size of like a cartridge and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but I want that. I feel like I need it.
That's pretty good, man. I wonder if they still sell the game with the comic still.
I doubt if they did, then you'd be paying top dollar, because I've looked that up on eBay and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone sell both. I've just seen the book on its own. Yeah, I missed out on all the the only Nintendo I really had was the first original one. I always had to go to friends' houses to play like Nintendo 64 and things like that. GameCube I never had.
I did have a GameCube later on. They had some good stuff. Super Mario Double Dash was fun. It actually had some pretty good Resident Evil games. They came out with Resident Evil 0 on the GameCube. That was a fun game.
Yeah, I'm too scared to play those games.
Yeah.
I
love those games, man.
That's why I've been wanting to do more gaming videos on my YouTube, like the edited ones, like how I did like the Iron Man virtual, all the VR ones. Because I've had the VR Resident Evil for ages, and I've been wanting to make a video. It's like I'm too scared to play that game just with the controller. I can't imagine what the VR's like. So I actually could be a funny video to make. So I'm gonna get on that.
That'd be good to see, man. Do it at night.
Well, you got the headset on, you see, or you're there.
I heard they were remaking Resident Evil 4 with a VR mode.
Really? It's going to be terrifying stuff.
Yeah. But the original Resident Evil games, man, I played those to death. Number 2 is still one of my all-time favorite games, the original.
Was that on the PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to call my friend who lived down the street to come over and play it so I could watch him play it.
Yeah.
I could play it.
I wish that they would make PlayStation 1 games be able to play on these new consoles now.
It just doesn't make sense that I can't believe they don't do that. It's just
I'd love to be able to do that, because the PlayStation 3 did that. You could you had to buy them for like $5.99, but that's not bad. I had a bunch of digital PS1 games on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, you can buy. A lot of them have been remastered for digital, so
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of looking for them. You can
I
actually
had.
find them.
You ever played Dino Crisis? It was made by the same people that made the Resident Evil games. That was super fun.
It sounds familiar. Dino Crisis.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites with the Resident Evil games. I know you can get emulators and stuff and play them on PC, but I don't think my computer would be able to handle it.
Emulators don't take
crash.
much. Emulators don't take too much to run. I don't think.
Really?
So you might be okay, but you also might end your laptop.
Yeah. I'm hoping to pick up a new laptop on Black Friday if I can find a good enough deal that won't break the bank.
Just don't go too cheap on laptops, man. Just because I sell laptops for a living, so like, I hate selling the really cheap ones because people just come back and say this is really slow, and I'm always like, I told you not to buy it.
I might have to get some tips from you, man. Like, what's a good one that can play some decent games, but not like I'm not looking for like ridiculous, like super quality. Just like to play a game without the computer crashing that doesn't cost too much.
If it's just a basic game, as long as you get something that's not too entry level, then you're probably like, if you look at the game's Zen's probably a better person to speak to about it. If you look at the game's minimal requirement, it pretty much tells you anything can play this game. But then you go get the cheapest computer to play that game, and you're like, why is it so clunky and why is it so slow? Because it's not supposed to play games.
Yeah. Like that would be like because I would only like probably just get an emulator and just play the old school games on it. That'd be like the only thing I'd be interested in.
You can do that. You know, did you see, showed it on Collectible Show and Tell when I was on. I've got the mini Nintendo and mini Super Nintendos that came out. You can actually hack them and get an emulator on them. So they come with like 20 games. I gave it to my friend and he brought it back and it's got like 100 games on it now.
Oh, nice.
Like using the same operating system or whatever that actually came with. So it's pretty crazy.
That's pretty cool. Those you just like plug in the TV and play, right?
Yeah.
Just simple.
Yeah, I actually had a good crack at them for about a week or two when I first got them.
Yeah. Kavi said he had a Wii for a little while.
How do you lose it? How do you lose a Wii? I can understand losing a Wii controller, but how do you lose a console?
I actually won a Nintendo Wii on a there's a local place called Gamers Alley here. And they were doing a Black Friday giveaway. All you had to do was spend $20 in the store and you got entered to win. And my name got drawn, so I won a Nintendo Wii.
You still have it?
No, I give it to my nephew. But I played the crap out of it for a couple years.
I'm thinking about collecting some old games, like just to have the like I said, the Warriors was one of my, and I just like collecting Warriors stuff anyway. But the Warriors video game was one of my favorites. So I was thinking I just buy the cover just to have it on my shelf.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. There's some games I wish I had back now. Like I would love to have the original Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 on the PlayStation 1. I played an old Superman game on the Sega called The Death and Return of Superman, where you actually got to play as Superman, Eradicator, Steel, Cyborg, and Superboy.
Wait, what was it
and
called?
It was called The Death and Return of Superman on the Sega Genesis. That would be awesome to have back. There's just so many games I can think of that are like probably crazy expensive now. No way I'd be willing to buy them now.
Wait,
Yep, that looks like it.
Change screens on me. Oh, that's a cool cover.
Yep.
I feel like I remember that.
The one I had was on the Sega, though.
Hang on a sec. Wait, so you're telling me in this game, was it just a side scroller where he walked around?
Yeah, it was a side scroller beat 'em up.
Could he fly?
Yeah, he'd like hover at some parts, but they had certain stages where you were flying through, shooting the heat vision and stuff. But it was mostly just a side scroller beat 'em up, but it was fun, man.
They were like the best games in the 90s, like the side scrollers, like Final Fight, the Aliens game.
Did you ever play
Aliens game? Did you ever play Aliens, like the arcade?
No.
You would use
never played
Ripley
that.
and Hicks. Like Ripley was player 1 and Hicks was player 2. There was the Predator games where you could choose out of the 3 Predators, and I think it was Alien versus Predator. Actually, I feel like it was Alien versus Predator. But yeah, those side scroll. Double Dragon. Of course.
Oh yeah, Double Dragon I played. And I remember a RoboCop and a Terminator game, both on the regular Nintendo.
Yes. I had the RoboCop one, and I could not get past the first level at the very end. And then I played it on my mini Nintendo, I think, and I figured it out straight away. All I had to do was duck and shoot the guy.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I could not figure that out as a kid. So literally all I could do is play to the end of the first level and then die. Frustrating.
I'm gonna have to see if I can find one of those mini Nintendos with the. Is it hard to get all the extra games on it?
You could probably I googled how to do it, and I think you just go to this website and you just download, and you got to plug it into your computer. Actually, it might kill your computer, but I think you just got to download this program, and then you plug in your thing, and then you can download the games as these certain file types. But the good thing is, so when you obviously buy it just as standard, you don't hack it. It has its own menu screen, right, with all the games and stuff. When you do this thing to it, it doesn't change that. That operating system is still there. It just has more games. So it's pretty cool.
I'm surprised they didn't just, if they could do that, why didn't Nintendo just release it with all those? I wonder if it was just like a licensing thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they license run out on certain games.
So this is the original Nintendo. So it's got 30 games.
30.
Which is so they could have done so much more with it.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'll get this. So it's got Punch Out, but it's not Mike Tyson's Punch Out because it's something to do with licensing. They couldn't call it Mike Tyson's Punch Out anymore.
They probably didn't want to keep paying them.
Yeah, probably. And then this is the Super NES. So this one only had 20 plus 1 games. Wow. So this is the one I gave to my mate, and now it's got like 101 games.
That's awesome. Did it have the first Nintendo, did it have Psych Bike on it?
No, it didn't. But I'm sure I could have got that on there if I
remember that being like such a fun game, and it was cool because you could actually create your own track. Yeah, and at the time that was just mind blowing to me that you could do something like that.
So much. You used to create your own tracks, and then you'd always try to beat your own time at it and stuff. So, but I've also got the Sega somewhere as well. But the Sega one sucks. The Sega one's so bad. Yeah, it just doesn't work well. So,
Kavi was talking about earlier. What was it called? The Retcon or something, Kavi? Where it had all the old systems in one, and you could actually put the cartridges in it and play them.
Oh, the original cartridges you could plug into it?
Yeah.
What? That's out of control.
I think that's what it. I can't find the comment now, but it was a while back.
The Retcon, you reckon?
I remember seeing one of those at Gamers Alley that had the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega. But I think he said his had 5 in it. Unless I just misread the comment. That would be sick to own.
Wait, it's Retron.
Retron, okay.
I've never heard of that.
Retron 5.
There you go. Yeah, so that's what that picture was. You can put that's out of control, but wouldn't it have to have a million different cartridge slots?
I guess just 5 on top of it. That would take you back, man. Just trying to blow on the cartridge to get it to work.
Yeah. I've still got my original Nintendo console.
Oh wow!
I found it when my parents moved out of their house. So I found it, and it doesn't work. Obviously, it just everyone's Nintendo got to that stage where you turned it on and the screen just flashed.
Takes a copy of the game's ROM direct from the cartridge. That's sweet, man.
It's better control.
Oh wow!
Boy games.
That's killer.
Yeah, I remember the last handheld console I had actually was a friend of mine was like, I was going to buy it off my friend, the PlayStation Portable. What was the PSP?
Oh yeah.
I had it for like months on end, and I finally decided, you know what? I've had this for months because he said to me, you can borrow it for as long as you want and just pay me the money when you've got it. And months went by, I never even touched it. So one night I put it out and I thought, oh, I'll give it a crack. And I played Need for Speed. I couldn't believe how good the graphics were on this thing. I was like, holy crap. But then I was like, man, I've played this once in 2 months. So I just gave it back to him and said, dude, I'm never gonna play it if I buy it. So I made a sensible choice for once in my life.
I had, my older brother gave me a PSP for a while, and I played that thing till it broke, man. I had Mutant League Football on it. I don't know if you remember that from the regular Nintendo, but he had Mutant League Football on it.
I never played it.
Midnight Club Dub Edition, which is a lot like Need for Speed.
Yeah, I remember those. I never played them.
And a couple other games I can't remember right offhand, but I had several movies for it too.
My favorite thing, really, even though I stopped being a very sporty person from the time I was about 18, I love sports games because I love being able to create players. But just because you mentioned the football one, NFL Blitz was my favorite.
That was fun, man.
Very good. It was like the NBA Jam of NFL games, right? It was so good.
Just straight up murder the other players with tackles and junk. There were a lot of great sports games. I remember I used to be heavy into Madden football from like 2002 all the way up until Madden 2013.
Yeah.
And of course, all the wrestling games and racing games I would pick up.
The NFL games weren't as massive here because I think a lot of people don't understand the game here. So I've got my brothers and all their mates, they love NFL. Like since back in the day, so they're down to play it, and I learned the NFL stuff through movies and stuff like that, you know. So I understand how it works, but the plays still kind of boggle me. I know how to sort of read the plays and stuff, but it is confusing.
They were fun, man. I remember a lot of times they had like the most awesome soundtracks in the old school Madden games, and they had like because that was before they started like focusing so much on line play and microtransactions. So they had these Madden card packs you could get just from playing the game, and if you open them, it unlocked legendary players in the game like Brett Favre, Troy Aikman, stuff like that, and you could like play them on your team. But now, all those are microtransactions you gotta buy.
That's so crap. My friend was saying even games like Mortal Kombat now, like every loading screen is just like buy this, buy that, pay money for this. I'm like, man, that's so crap. That's why again GTA, like everything's free. That's what it should be. You should pay for the game, and then you keep bringing updates for free, and more people will buy it. I'd imagine.
I remember when they first started doing that, and DLCs came out. It was cool because you'd have like these extra like story missions and like this cool additions to the game that they could just add in later. And now, over the years, it just got to where it's like every little thing is you got to pay for, like skins for characters, extra guns, extra maps, and there's no like real story elements that continue the game. It's just all this little junk.
I actually remember a similar thing happening back in the arcade days, right? So Double Dragon 3 came out at the arcades. So I put in whatever it was to pay for a credit back then, and I played it for like not that long, and I got to a certain point, and then it was like put another 60 cents in to continue. I'm like, what? I was like, what? I didn't die.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, and I still
Just
don't
money
understand.
grabs.
I just don't understand to this day. Like, what was it trying to? I just still don't get what happened there. I just couldn't believe it. My work is actually now selling the full arcade cabinets. They've got the
Oh, yeah?
Ninja Turtles one, and they've got the Simpsons one as well.
Oh, I actually just saw Jim McCollectibles.
Admit
He's been doing arcade cabinets.
that
He
that
did.
Simpsons one, that
yeah.
Simpsons one that he did a video on, that we sell that.
Oh,
they don't
nice.
sell it. We don't sell it at our work, but you can buy it off our website.
I know that one I saw, and he did one with the X-Men. It had 2 X-Men games and 1 Avengers game, I think.
Nice.
That looked pretty cool. That'd be sweet to have like an old school arcade cabinet. I don't know where I would put it though.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just
Well, okay, if you
take
could have
the bed
one,
out and replace it.
if you could have one arcade machine, so not one that you could switch over, just one arcade machine, any of them, what would it be?
There's so many great ones, man.
My brother's actually got one. My brother's got the Alien versus Predator arcade machine in his man cave. It's so loud as well when he turns it on. I don't know what the hell, but the volume's on like triple max. It's ridiculously loud.
One in particular one I remember. It was called Marvel Superheroes. And they actually ended up porting that over to the PlayStation 1. And it was after the success of that, they came out with Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. But the original was just called Marvel Superheroes.
Okay.
And now on the PlayStation 1, those are like over $100 or something. It's crazy because it was like so rare. But I remember playing that.
Yeah, because those are the same graphics as like X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel Marvel versus. Oh, I don't remember this Marvel.
But that was
one.
an awesome arcade game that they turned into a PS1 game. Yep. That's it. It's like I looked it up on eBay not too long ago, and it's crazy expensive.
Oh,
But
so that arcade
that would be
one,
a sweet arcade to have.
Arcade One, which is the place which is the brand that are making all these cabinets, they do one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do one. And I wonder if we sell it at my work. And they also, the cool thing is when you buy them, it comes with a stool.
Yeah.
And the stool is like for the game.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
You know what I would get? Because this is kind of a cheat, but I'd get, because it's still considered one machine, you know, the side-by-side Daytona machines.
Oh, yeah.
I'd want that. I just love Daytona.
I remember they had one. It had like it was the arcade cabinet, but it had the racing seat. You could sit down in it, and it would like move side to side. I can't remember which racing game that was though.
There's a few of those ones.
But that's like a vague memory.
See you, Carvey.
Peace, Covey. There's so many looking back.
There's also the so I know some people who've had like the cabinets, but like they were the smaller ones, like the little white ones. So you would sit on a pretty small sort of seat, but it's but because you know those ones, the proper cabinets you can stand and play them. There's these ones which are a lot shorter, and they're normally in like a white.
Yeah, I've seen some of the smaller ones at the local Walmart, but I just feel like I would have to be like hunched over and play them like that.
What about the tabletop ones? Remember those?
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Oh, my brother's got one of those too, I think, and it's got like 8 games in one or something like that, like Galaga and things like that.
Remember Tetris was one. I can't remember if Tetris was ever arcade or not.
Yeah, it would have been, surely. Surely.
because I mostly remember playing it on like the Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah,
But it
no,
probably
it
was because that was like,
would have had to have been.
yeah, that was like
Uh,
big for some reason. But I remember Sega came up with like a ripoff of Tetris called Columns, and it was just the same thing with like slightly different.
excuse me, it was not the same thing because I had columns on my Game
You
Gear.
did?
I was very good at it, and it was not the same thing because Tetris was shapes. Well, these were all like just 3 cubes on thing, and all you could
Yeah.
do was turn them left and right, but you had to match up the jewels in them. So it was more, if anything, it was more like Candy Crush copied columns.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just like another one that came to mind. They've actually got a on the PlayStation Store right now. They have like a Sega collection of games you can get digitally. I've been thinking about buying that because they have one called Comic Zone. I don't know if you remember that one. I think it's got Vector Man in it. Those were like some cool games. Yo, what's up, Sharon?
Shazza.
Just got home. She's been working like crazy lately. Long hours.
Do you play many games on your phone?
Not really.
Thanks, Sharon.
The only thing I really play on my phone was like I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it was Among Us when I used to
Yeah.
jump on streams with Cade and Rena. I would play that on my phone.
I don't do it much, but when smartphones were still kind of newish, I would like there was all those little games that got so big and they were so addictive, like things like Angry Birds and things like that. Because you play it, it's like all you have to do. It only takes a second to have another go. You know, there's so many of those app games that like it really changed gaming. I think for the world.
Think at that game. I stink at it too.
Yeah.
Every time I play, I get stuck on a ladder until I died.
For some reason, it doesn't work on Mac. I bought it on Stream. On Steam. Sorry, and then it was like, oh, you can't use this. You got a Mac. I was like, well, you could have told me that when I bought it. So I downloaded this emulator thing called BlueStacks, which will emulate Android games. So that's how I was able to play it with people the first time. But that stopped working. Like it needed updates and it wouldn't work. So last time I played with Cade and all those guys, I did it on my iPad and it was just not the same thing. It's so hard to move and stuff.
Marvel Puzzle Quest. I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Wait, is that the one that you met Sam through? Because I know Sharon met Sam through an app game. And then he brought her into the comic.
Yeah, I remember Sharon saying Sam was the one that brought her into the comic community.
And it was through playing some game on their phone. Yeah, so that's the one.
Okay, cool.
Well, mate, we've reached the hour point. Maybe we should start wrapping
already.
Again, I think some of these topics we'll have to do a part 2. You know, like we could just talk this stuff today, right? So
yeah, we need to because there was like other games I wanted to talk about. Like I didn't even get like the Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, so
the Need for Speed Underground.
We'll revisit and maybe we'll actually plan on what we're going to talk. We didn't talk about our love for the wrestling games and all that. So
we still didn't get into wrestling games, did we?
Yeah, so I made this little list of like what we could talk about today, just in case we didn't know where to start. So and all I did was list consoles. So I wrote the PlayStation. And I was like, wait, I haven't even listed any games to talk about. So
Sharon just got here. She don't want the stream to end.
I know.
You gotta go to work.
Yeah, I've been starting a little later, which is good. So I've been able to do these streams at this time, which is good. But I still got to eat breakfast and stuff like that. So I haven't had a shower or nothing. I just got out of bed.
You out, man.
No, not at all. You know that, Shazza. It's just if we do too much longer than an hour, people don't want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I feel like an hour is a good sweet spot for rewatchability. But if we go out for 2 hours and stuff, no one's rewatching a 2-hour stream.
I'll tell you what, Sharon, I'll just send you the link, and
You
when
guys
Simon leaves, we can rename the show to "It's Simply Life" or something,
It's simple.
or Super Life.
Super life.
I'll have to create a new thumbnail. It's Simply Super featuring Super Life.
All right, mate. So maybe we should get out of here. Tomorrow I'm going to be releasing my Slab City Comics haul.
Oh, nice.
Are you cool if I use your affiliate link? I know you're mad at them at the moment.
Yeah, they actually finally sent me the commission for that like yesterday.
Oh, my one?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I need to edit my video then. There was a point where I was like saying that that Super Russ is mad with them, but I cut that out because I was like, just in case they watch this, I don't want them to think they're mad. But
it must be what it is. They probably don't send it until the order's fulfilled or something.
Yeah, but that's what I said at the end of the video. But
yeah,
my order technically isn't fulfilled because I've still got a slab that may never come.
Oh man. Yeah, you said it would be like what, 10 months or something crazy?
Well, it's Sarah's slab, so my books are here. I don't care. She can chase it up in 10 months. And they'll be like, oh, we haven't even sent it yet. Sorry.
If I did a stream where I planked, it would be like 10 seconds and then me laying on the ground for the rest of the stream.
I used to do 2-minute planks. That was my thing when I did exercise. I don't know if
I tried the other day, and oh my God, man. After just a few seconds of like trying to hold it, I was like,
I'll tell you the secret, right? I'll tell you. So once I started to make it easier, what you do, like, because I used to do 2 minutes, I used to put on a video that would last for about 2 minutes. So like a movie trailer or a music video or something like that. And it makes it a lot easier when you're watching something because you're not mentally battling with yourself. So
I don't know, man. I'm starting to think Sharon just wants to see me in the hospital or something.
Maybe. No, I want to. I definitely still want to do some sort of exercise stuff because I watched this document, the Will Smith thing that came out recently, the best shape of my life, and it inspired me to get my series back going. So, yeah.
Man. I don't know if I can do all that. It's like a slow burn. I got to start out ridiculously slow because I'm just so.
Man, like, my whole thing is, man,
people can't tell it. Yeah, people can't tell it to look at me, but my body is wrecked from old injuries and stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I know. But that's why you go easy, man. Anything is better than nothing, mate. So.
Sharon's gonna kill me one day. 15 seconds I can probably do on a plank. And then I'm done for the rest of the day.
Just add a second every day.
Yeah.
15 seconds, 16 seconds, 17. So by the time, that'll be easy, mate. That'll be easy. You can do it.
Maybe. I know I was messing with them in the group chat. I was like, so planking is just holding the same position for an extended period of time. I do that every day, but I call it sitting.
Man,
she's calling you out, Simon.
Well, how long can Sharon do it for? How long can you do it for, Shazza?
After 2 months of that 30-day arm challenge, man, Sharon could probably plank for an hour.
I don't know if I can still do 2 minutes. I could definitely try. 1 minute, even 1 minute's hard. But I've got a lot of weight to carry. I carry a lot of weight at the moment. I just hide it well.
Yeah. I'm trying, man, but
when I did
last time I checked, I was 268.
You know when I did that video where I the Comic Warriors training one? Yeah. There was that bit where I jumped over the short boxes. I hurt my knee from doing that. Because there was a lot of weight it was like 20 kilograms more weight than I'm used to landing on my knee. But also because someone, I think Hoarders Hyde commented, could you really not jump over those short boxes? It was because there was no space between them. There was like this much space between them. That's how big my feet are. So because I had to like fit it all in the shot, I couldn't spread the boxes out, because if I had the space, I could easily jump over all of them. But because I had to be very precise with my jumps, I had to, do very slow jumps, and it hurt my knee.
Back when I did Kamigoys, I think the second time, I did like a little promo where I was like lifting a short box and I was laying on my back. And I should have left it in the video because it slipped and it fell on my chest. But I edited that part out.
Oh man, we live for those bloopers, mate.
Yeah. It was just like, knocked the wind out of me.
All right, mate, let's wrap it up. You got anything? What you got planned?
Oh man, I don't really have any plans on the channel for right now. I need to come up with a weekend stream like we were talking about earlier. Maybe I can get some people together and just do a weekend hangout for an hour or something.
It's a good idea, man. It's a good idea. Like I said, people will watch that for longer periods of time. Even if there's not a lot of people, I think you get longer views for those people that do watch sometimes. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I thought about trying some comic haul videos again, but when I get comics, like I only get like 2 or 3 at a time, so I would have to save up for a couple months to get a decent comic haul video.
Mate, keep doing those shorts, mate. You finally got one that hit, so
yeah. I just actually did another short today, so that's up. But yeah, those don't get much watch time.
No, well, they add up. Well, if you can get one that goes off, so like my Harley Quinn, my top 10 Harley Quinn covers, right? That one has done pretty well. So if I kind of work it out, how many we got here? Shorts. So my Harley Quinn one has, where is it? Top 10 Harley Quinn, 4.4K views, right?
Oh,
so
nice.
let's say people only watch that for 30 seconds. Every 2 views is a minute. Therefore, every 120.
I don't know.
120 views is an hour. And within 4.4K, that's a lot of hours just for a 1 minute video.
Yeah,
so if you
that's
keep
true.
doing that, for such little work, you can get a lot of reward if YouTube promote it. But they didn't seem to promote my last couple. So.
Yeah, so far that one, I think it was 2 videos ago, 2 shorts ago, it got 667 and then stopped. So that's like my most successful one so far.
It's good, mate. It's good. Just keep doing it.
Oh, nice.
That's very good. It's way more than mine. My Red Hood video is about to lose its streak is about to end of getting views every day. It's down to 1 view in the last 48 hours. So I think the streak is about to end, and I'm very sad about it.
The biggest video on my channel is the first time I did a full Superman collection video. It's up to 2.5K views, and that's like almost 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah, because that's
close to 3 years ago. But it still constantly gets like 2 or 3 views every day. So I don't. None of my other videos do that.
That's like my Red Hood one. It's the only one that has had consistent views within every 48 hours. It's had multiple views, and sometimes it spikes. Like there's periods where it goes up to 40 views randomly all of a sudden. And but whatever.
That's pretty cool to have something that's like still getting views from the past.
Yeah.
That's why I keep doing the collection videos. I'm hoping that'll strike again, but so far it hasn't. Even my CGC short box video didn't even quite get 50 views. And I thought that would be the one that would like hit more.
Yeah, but you did that live, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. You're always going to get more views on a shorter video than you will a longer video.
Yeah.
And the longer videos on streams, most of those are people who are tuning in and out while you're live. So.
Yeah. But I kind of like doing those live, man. I didn't feel as rushed. I could like take the books out, check it out if it had a wraparound.
Even if you get less views for it, people are watching for longer. So
yeah, hopefully that's the plan because I'm still struggling with watch time. I just got 2,600. Or no, 1,600. Yeah, my bad.
I am. See, I'm less than 2,000. I'm on 1943 according to my YouTube right now.
Yeah. So I'm
it's not easy,
I'm
mate.
still quite a long way from hitting that 4,000. I wish YouTube would lower that, because I don't know if you know, but they actually lowered the to be able to get the community tab. They lowered it from 1,000 to 500.
I just
That was
started
cool.
using that.
So YouTube, if you ever listen, lower the watch time too, man. Take it from 4,000 to 2K. It'd make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, man, if I can reach that 4K hours.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of doing. Yeah, it's kind of like Gray Man. Like, even though a lot of his videos might not get a lot of views, because he pumps out so many, they kind of add up for that day.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Gray Man's always got a list of videos.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it all adds up, and I think it works for him. So, all right.
That's awesome. 3 months. That's like
a lot
really
of
quick
channels, a lot of like guys like Legion of Comics and Whack Comics, they hit their 4,000 before they got to 1,000 subs.
Yeah, that would have made it a lot easier. But at the time, I didn't know they were. I thought it was lifetime, so I thought I was good.
No.
But
Well,
yeah, I found out.
Of
course, it's not lifetime hours.
Yeah.
Of course, it's yearly. Thanks, YouTube.
All right, mate. Let's shut shop before it gets too crazily long.
Keep ranting about YouTube for the next 30 minutes.
Next week's episode, YouTube rants.
Yeah. You got anything coming up on your channel you want to promote right quick?
So yeah, I got my Slab City Comics haul, and that's it. No collectible show and tell this week because I got plans on the weekend, and yeah, I've got stuff coming all the time. So just check me out. I'm still like 40 subs away from 900, and then I do another giveaway.
Yeah,
and I got some.
That's not much. That's not much, man. That could spike any time.
Yeah, but it hasn't spiked for a while.
It might. You never know, man.
We'll see.
Sometimes you just hit that spike and it just goes off.
Yeah. I think once I hit 900, I'm gonna do a road to 1K, and then I think that'll be easier, and people will help out with that too. I think so. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I've been toying, trying to come up with something, but I wanted to get closer to that 1,100 mark before I did it. Because I think I'm at 1,007 now. I've lost a few more. I just keep going back and forth. So I don't know. I'll try to come up with something good for a giveaway.
Right. This show will take off eventually, mate. We just keep doing it for years and years, and it'll eventually take off.
I should just do a giveaway for the ladies only. Winner gets to send me a first-class plane ticket, and we'll go on a date. You think that would take off?
Yes.
The winner gets to give me money to buy a plane ticket, so we can go on a date.
There'll be some sugar mamas out there, mate.
Gotta be one somewhere. I'm free.
All right. Let's roll out.
Yeah, we better before the stream gets more chaos. Went from video games to YouTube rants to trying to pimp me out. Peace, guys.
See you guys.